Peace and light. Thank you for tapping into my first YouTube video. So I am Moon Goddess of Moon Goddess Tarot. You can call me Ambrosia outside of, me doing my work here. Feel free to call me Ambrosia. So first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for your continuous support and I'm just proud of y'all for really taking the initiative to begin your healing journey, to begin, really self-discoveries in finding yourself. And, I love all of that. I am grateful to even be a part of it for some of you who have actually booked readings and continue to book readings with me. And I'm also thankful for those who just tap into my content on my pages. But yes, so yes, I want to do a brief introduction about myself. So my vessel, I was born as Kiana. However, I back in October of last year, 2020, I went through a ego death. I've been through them before, but this one was a complete transformation of who I am. So now I go by Ambrosia. Um, and back in 2018, I went to the Healing Place retreat out in Florida, and it was the best experience ever. It was just so dope to meet people that actually love like me, because honestly, me coming into this whole gift is based off of my experiences through love and my own, my own healing process of learning how to master my emotions. And I always wanted to be seen for who I truly am. And a lot of the times I used to go through people pleasing moments. I just used to have all these emotional disruptions. But then I got into a space where I realized I can't keep allowing those things to happen, because I end up in situations that aren't very healthy. So instead of me, trying to put stuff down my emotions, I started to really get real I started to get active and be more consistent and dedicated to overcoming those things so that I could continue to evolve in my journey, because I know that I feel like I'm just like this big ball of light of love that you walked around here, and it just it's just so much I could go into on a deeper note. And if you want to know more about that journey, I do have um, I have a good amount of detail on my bio and my website, so definitely check it out. And then, of course, if you have any other questions, please hit me up. Um, but yeah, I appreciate everybody that has submitted questions, so I want to go ahead and start answering some of these. Y'all have some really good questions, and I just wrote them down real quickly, so they're most likely they're all out of order, but let's see. So I'll start with this one. The first question is, are you a breakfast fan? So that's funny. Yes, I am. I love breakfast food. I can eat it all day, every day. Out of all the meals, I prefer to have breakfast. Uh, I'm not going to say I like getting up early, because at heart I'm a night owl. However, I would eat breakfast food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, snack, blah blah blah. And my favorite is waffles. Well, mainly French toast, and then waffles come in second place. So yes, I do love breakfast, but I don't really like getting up too early. But since being a mother, it's the best time to get up, to be honest. So I've been adjusting ish. I still be having my late nights and stuff sometimes. So my next question is, how do I prepare for deep readings? So first and foremost, I have to make sure I'm in a space where I am grounded, because my main principle when it comes to me doing readings is integrity. I do not want to compromise whoever I'm doing a reading for. So when you book a reading with me, it's not about me no more. It's all about you. And ambrosia is not there. You're having a conversation with Moon Goddess. So that's why I like to distinguish the two, because um, that conversation is between you and Moon Goddess. Moon Goddess is just a vessel. Kiana feelings don't really come into play. Like, I'm not gonna lie, sometimes when I'm doing readings, I will share like personal short stories to help like give you a better understanding or understanding as to what I'm talking about. But overall, everything that comes out in that reading is from you. So if I'm not in a grounded space, you know, of course, I'll sage myself, I'll sage my surroundings, and follow up with Palo Santo to bring back in the good energy. And there would be times there has been times where I completely wasn't up for doing any reading. So what I did was I hit up whoever booked the reading and said, hey, do you mind if we reschedule? Because I'm not going to I'm not going to take on your reading if I'm not in a good space and I cannot find my way back to being in a good space. So I need to take that time away from me to get grounded, and then I'll be back. Um, so yeah, integrity is very key. What else do I do to prepare? Make sure I have me some water. I love lavender, so I light me up some lavender incense. And that's one thing I've been wanting to tell y'all for the longest. If y'all ever want to send me a gift, send me some lavender incense. Or you could cash out me some money. I'll go buy it myself. Like, I might even start up like an Amazon kind of like a wish list. So like, if you ever want to buy me anything like that, or just want to give me something, lavender incense is my go-to. I would love that. So I set up my lavender incense. I do have I don't know the correct term to call it. I have like it's not really a mat, but it's like a cloth. And I laid that down, and I'll set up my cloth with like my crystals and things around me so I can stay grounded and intentional about the reading. And then I also have like this moon goddess statue that I set up as well. Um, Other than that, that's pretty much it. Of course, I'll sage my decks um, if I haven't done it in a while, and two, especially if the energy is too heavy. I also make sure to wash my hands. My hands, I be feeling, I don't know, my hands are special for some reason. Like, I just be feeling like I could like, I don't even have to do anything, but sometimes I'll feel like this heavy energy in my hands, so I have to, like, go wash my hands and stuff. So I make sure I wash my hands first and foremost. Um, excuse the noise. I'm sitting outside. Trying to think what else I do to prepare. It's all about just making sure my energy. Mainly it's just making sure my energy is ready to do your reading, so that, because I don't want to project anything into the reading. And if I haven't had this situation, but if I ever got into that point, I would cut it out. I would end it right then and there. I'm like, hey, this ain't working. Let's reschedule. I got you another time, because this don't feel integral. But like I said, I haven't ran into that situation before, but I always make sure to keep the integrity. And yeah. So the next question: what started my tarot path? So, long story short, I went through some. I went through an opportunity to evolve into my true self. Um, I got into a space where I lost, or I never really learned what self-love was until I ran into a situation where I was forced to uh, grow that within myself. Like, so I went through this traumatic experience. Afterwards, I hit up one of my close friends, and she actually did a reading for me. And when she did that reading for me, it changed my whole life. Like, that was the second time I ever gotten a reading from anybody. The first time was back when I was in college, where like on college we used to have what was it called? I forgot. But basically they'll have like different events out on campus, and you can go and get your hair done, I don't know, paint pictures, just random small activities and different tables that you can go to. So one time I had went to somebody that did a reading for me, and that thing was lit. Now, even back then in college, it's funny because back in college, I used to be like interested in it, but still skeptical. But I've always been intrigued by it. Like, I always been into astrology since I was little. Like, I had just this big obsession with the moon since like when I was playing outside type days, like middle school or like probably like 5th grade-ish. You know, I used to play outside. The moon always grabbed my attention. But anyways, that's beside the point. So when I got a reading by one of my good friends, that reading was everything I needed in that moment to help me get back on track to where I was before I went through that experience. And I just kept replaying it over and over in my mind, like, cause she actually did the reading um through text for me. Well, you know, she texted me her interpretation, and you know, I just kept reading over and over it, and I'm just like, yo, yes, this right here, I like this. So what I did was I ended up buying that same deck that she gave me a reading with, and that's the deck that I have that I call Grandma. The funny thing is, I did not start using that deck until after I got my second deck, and I didn't start using it because it was just that lit. Like, I had it sitting on my dresser for the longest of time, and I would just glare at it. I'll think about it. I'm like, I ain't ready. I ain't ready. But the more I got to practice it, I realized what it was. The reason why I felt, you know, a little nervous about that deck is because it gave me ancestor vibes. So imagine if you had an issue or a problem or something, would you feel comfortable going to your grandma? It'll make you a little nervous or something, right? So that deck right there just gave me straight up ancestor vibes, and that's why I see why I was so lit. And now in this very moment when I'm thinking about it, that's the first time I had, well, one of the first times I can recollect or recall me having an experience with my ancestors, and that was before I even started doing a lot of ancestor work. So yeah, so basically after that reading, and I got my second deck, that's the one I call Empress, and that one is like talking to my best friend. So once I got comfortable with that, then I embraced the opportunity to learn Grandma. And honestly, me using tarot was for my own journey. It was only up until my mom's friend was asked me, can I do a reader for her? And I was just like, I don't know. I don't know if I really want to do that. Like, I gave my mom readings before and close friends, but I was just like, I don't know if I want to branch out like that. But, you know, I like having new opportunities. I like taking on new opportunities, so I was just like, why not? Let's give it a shot or whatever. So I gave her a reading, and it was just everything to her. So, and then that's when her and my mom, they all was getting all hype, saying you should do this for a service and stuff like that. And I'm just like, oh no, but I kept it in mind. So then by the time I went to the Healing Place retreat, I gave a reading to one of my homegirls I was out there with, and she liked it. And also before I gave, I don't know, I think it was before I gave her a reading that I had my vision about Moon Goddess, and that vision was everything, because I was in a shamanic meditation, and Moon Goddess basically revealed to me that I needed to learn how to separate my emotions from other people's emotions, and that's just like the summation of where Moon Goddess came from. So, you know, after that, you know, me and my homegirls talking about it, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna call myself Moon Goddess. And then thus here I am, Moon Goddess. So that's pretty much what started my tarot path, or tarot path. And the next question, what is my favorite moon phase and why? So I had to think about this for a minute. At first I was going to say the new moon, but then again I wanted to say the full moon. But honestly, I think the waning crescent is my favorite moon phase. And I say that because The waning crescent is after you done did your release and you start to feel the momentum build up of your transformation. That's my favorite. It's like that final release and you get to relax. It's like getting off of work. Like imagine, you had this long day at work, you working, and then you driving home, you start relaxing and calming down, then you finally get home and plop down on your couch and you kind of reflect on your day, but it's more so like you get to relax. So I don't know, that's my favorite. Being able to um, set new intentions and go through the whole process of all the way up to the release. And that's a lot of work in a sense. I mean, that's a lot of work in itself. So that's why I appreciate the waning crescent, because at that point I get to just like breathe. Like I did all this work, now I can relax. So that would be my favorite moon phase. And please excuse the noise. My neighbors are like chilling outside too. So I mean, it's really nice out here. Yesterday it was like raining and dark and gloomy. So yeah. So next question: how do I handle anger? This question is so funny. And then the other part of it was, do you even get angry? And they were laughing about it. So I would say yes, I do get angry. Honestly, it's more of a frustration, and then it's more of a disappointment. A lot when I was a lot younger, it would be more of an anger, but nowadays it's more of a disappointment because I honestly don't like to have to get out of character, so it actually makes me sad to do so. Like my normal character is happy, let's have fun, let's smile and play type of character. So when I have to go in that route, it's just like, why we gotta get here? Like it's pointless to me. It doesn't make sense, and it frustrates me. Like especially if it's something done out of ignorance. That's the biggest frustration ever. Like it's just uncalled for. So how do I handle anger or getting upset and things like that? What I do is I just have to step away from the situation and ground myself and just be raw with whatever I'm feeling. Um, I write, I do journaling, I listen to music, I dance, I just do what makes me feel good. Sometimes, like, I do have to vent about it so I can get it off my chest. And if I can't talk to a friend, I got my notebook, I got a journal, like, I write. And ever since being younger, journaling has always been my thing because, when I was super young, I used to feel a lot of depression. So journaling and music was my happy place. So I still use those things, excuse me, I still use those things today to help me to transmute energy like that. Um, so yes, I do get angry, and that's pretty much how I handle it. I just step away from the situation, ground myself before I even speak on it, because I don't want to speak from a place of being angry. I don't want to say nothing that I don't mean. Like I literally, if like love is my religion, like if anything, love is my religion. Like I live by it and everything. It's the highest vibration. So I don't want to be out anything outside of that. Like I get it, we are this dual being, we're multifaceted and everything, but I'd rather hang out in the love sector 24/7. Okay, so I just retreat, get myself together, and then speak on it if necessary. But I make sure I talk about whatever it is in a way that is effective. Um, but yeah, I hope that answered your question. So some other questions. Somebody wanted to know more about Uranus. Well, I'll say Uranus is the ruler is well. So Aquarius has two ruling planets. You have Saturn and Uranus, but I feel like Uranus is like the main one for Aquarius. Um, and the Uranus energy is like the revolutionary type of vibe. It's like they want change and they're like into humanity, like what can help us change on a grand scheme. And that's why a lot of people of the same generation, oh my gosh. So that's why a lot of people of the same generation have the same sign in Uranus, because it's like, based on how it rotates a lot slower than like Earth. So um, it it rotates over years. So it's jam-packed with like, I don't know, I can't tell you off the bat. I can't tell you how long it's in rotation, how many years that is. I have to look it up. I don't remember by heart. Um, but yeah, it does carry a lot of like a rebellious type of energy. It goes against the normal. It's the unconventional. Let's change some shit because, excuse my French, let's change it up because what we doing right now is not working. That's what Uranus is. Uranus is like, well, nice. Uranus is like a sudden, yeah, it's just like a sudden change. It's like that shocker that'll make you like, oh snap, I need to change this. So yeah, that's what I got for that. Um, Lightning. I love lightning. Like lightning is so amazing to watch over the beach. That is my favorite. So what are my thoughts about lightning? Kind of like the same thing of what I was saying about Uranus, but more of on a destructive thing, like instantly. Um, it's like an instant destruction or instant change, you know. It's kind of like having this big bright idea, like ding, like a light come on. That's like a lightning energy to me. Um, but yeah, that's all I got. My bad. I thought I saw a little bug. I'm about to freak out. I'm like bugs. I talk to them, tell them to leave me alone and everything. But anyways, another question: how do you know you're meant to do tarot? Well, so I feel like first of all, you definitely have to practice with yourself because that'll show you right then and there. Like you can't pump fake it, you can't lie. You have to be straight up honest. You got to be integral and everything because when you do this, you're playing a role in somebody else's journey. Like, yes, it's up to them to decide if they want to listen to your advice and listen to the cards that come out. But at the same time, you also have to be mindful of your karma. So I feel like that's like the big thing is, you know, you have to know what your intention is. You have to make sure you're doing it genuinely. I know a lot of people are called to do it from being that younger, like, you know, when they're younger, when their intuition is heightened, and you know, if they have like if they experience a lot of intuitive or psychic type of experiences, I feel like people like that are more called to it. Um, and then like for me, for example, being that I'm like this love ball, this walking love energy, and I am my sun sign is a Cancer. I just straight up just live around emotions, been it, and I've been this water element all my life. And my thing with that is knowing how much it has affected me or how much I had to learn about my emotions. That's why I do it because I want to teach others how to be aware of their emotions and also learn how what they mean, where it comes from, and how to transmute it, and just how to grow and evolve. That's why I do it for at first I used to say healing purposes, but now I'm more so on the personal development and spiritual development because there's a lot of emotions that we go through. It's a lot of emotions we pick up from other people, along with the distractions and the programming of, you know, how we were raised, society, and all that stuff. So it's a lot to cipher through to get to the emotion. So when I came across tarot cards or and oracle cards, that's what helped me to, you know, distract everything else out and focus in on what this card is telling me and reflecting and seeing how true it means for me. Um, so I don't know if that really answered your question, but I just say it depends on how you feel about it. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I feel like it's kind of like one of those things where you just know, and I don't know. It's a little hard to give my input on that one. I just know from my personal experience how I know I was caught meant to do it. Um, yeah, and I don't know. I just want to see everybody be the best version of themselves. So I just make sure I keep my attention and make sure I keep my energy right. So um, to keep maintain that integrity I was speaking of and righteous reciprocity and all that good stuff. So another question. Um, I want to call her Bess or Basset. I feel like I might be mispronouncing her name, but she's an Egyptian goddess. Somebody asked if I can talk about her. So I don't know too much about her because I focus in on the deities that I feel more called to. But some things that I know about her is she's like the goddess of love, beauty, fertility. She protects women and children primarily. She loves cats. She protects people from negative energy, and I'm trying to think what else. She's the daughter of the sun god Ra. I believe is Ra. I think she is. Ra and Isis. Those would be her parents. But yeah, please fact check me because, like I said, I don't know too much about her like that, except she's the main one that people see a lot that's like that cat. She's the cat one. Trying to think what else before I move on to the next question. Yeah, that's all I can think of. She protects against evil spirits and disease, and focusing on women, children. That's all I got. So next question, justice. What are my thoughts about justice or what I know about justice? Well, justice also has a level of integrity involved in it, morality, and consideration. Now, justice to me is unbiased, and it's the fairest decision that you can make between two opposing parties or something. It's just like bringing in the fairness of what is right. And honestly, you could answer what is right because technically it's no like good or bad. It's like polarities. Either it can be all the way down this way or all the way this way. What you need is balance. But so justice is pretty much that balance. It's not saying it's good or bad, but this is what love is, or I don't know. Kind of hard to explain that one in a sense. I just look at it as, what is fair on both ends. I'll keep it simple on that. So the next question, talk about gold. Well, gold symbolizes like wealth, being noble. It's also indestructible. Like, yeah, it might be like different chemicals that can like break it down type of thing, but it's indestructible to the four elements like earth, air, water, and fire. Like if you put gold in fire, it can melt it down. It's not going to turn black or anything. It just melts it down. Now, if you put it in water, something might tarnish like the color of it in a sense, but you cannot destroy gold. Like, there's other things that probably out there that can destroy it, but they hold gold to such a high standard because of how hard it is to destroy it. They even call it like the elixir of immortality. That's why some people be like, some people like cook stuff with gold. I don't know how all that works, but some people might cook things with gold or like take certain vitamins and stuff that got gold particles in it and stuff like that. And yeah, it's like a noble metal. Because there are things called base metals would be like lead, which gold is like the highest of the high. It's like the high grade metal. It's like that top notch metal. So that's why it's like a big deal. That's why people is like hunting around for it and all that good stuff. Next question. Oh, and also gold remind me of like wisdom, like noble wisdom or divine wisdom in a sense. So that's what I got. As far as somebody asked what's in store for their spiritual journey, you will have to book a reading with me to get that answer because that was a pretty broad question. So book a reading with me and I got you. Also, someone said, how can I get back in with my ancestors? So here's what I'll say. First of all, I don't really feel like there's a right or wrong way to get in contact or reconnect with your ancestors. However, you want to do it out of respect. I feel like if anything, where you can go wrong is when you're not being respectful. But I know there are a lot of people that don't know too much about their ancestor or the history of their family and their lineage and things like that. So yeah, I could see the challenge in that, and that was a challenge for me. Now, what helped me to get started was I actually bought the book by Queen Afua, and she had like a way to set up altars, and instead of her like putting, well, because she had like different categories like contemporary people and activists and different categories like that. So that's pretty much how I started making my altar. Like I had like uh, I had ancestors who weren't necessarily blood ancestors, but people I felt connected to. So, for example, Maya Angelou, like she's one of my favorite ancestors. She might not be blood to me, but she's one of my favorites. So a way to connect to your ancestors is, you can do it that way, incorporate people you feel called to that aren't, per se family members, but also ask your grandparents or your mom and start asking around in your family about different ancestors. And also, it depends on how deep you are and how self-aware you are about things, but your ancestors will start telling you things that don't necessarily, well, like, for example, For example, you might smell like butterscotch candy out of nowhere. You be like, yo, I remember that smell from somewhere or something. Might remind you of somebody you knew when you're younger, or like, it could be one of your ancestors whose favorite candy was butterscotch or something like that. Like they'll do little signs and things like that. Um, and I'll tell you my very first experience with, you know, my ancestors, like aside from like me having that realization now with the cards and stuff, but there was this one time my son was sick, and but well, all right, let me backtrack. um I started getting into the practice of just saying thank you to my ancestors. It's like I didn't say no names or nothing like that. I didn't really have any names except like my great uncle that passed away. But at that time I was considering him one of my spirit guides. But of course he's an ancestor as well. So I would throw him in the mix. I'll say thank you to him for things that he helped me with. But then I'll say thank you to my ancestors, known and unknown. Like I don't know your names, so that's why I say that. But I want to say thank you to you. So giving thanks to them regardless of the fact that you might not know their names, that help. Um, and but yeah, one time my son he had got sick, and I just spoke out loud to my ancestors. I was like, because it was real tired. I think he had ate something, so he had like a stomach ache, and I was just like, oh, I just hope you feel better. It's mad late. Oh, that's what it was. He just had like a fever, and he wasn't feeling good, so he was tossing and turning through the night. And during that time, um, it was just I was just real tired. I had to get up early for work, and I didn't want him feeling this way, and I'm barely getting sleep. So I'm just like, ancestors, can you please can this be the last? Let this be the only night. Like, help him, help him feel better, and then blah 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 blah. So I said what I said, and then I woke up. He was just as normal as nothing. Like, I mean, he was back to his normal self and everything. Like, that was just one of those moments. I was like, oh my gosh. Oh, I also added like, if you help him, I'm not going to doubt. I'm not going to doubt my connection to you no more. I was just like, you could tell how tired I was for me to just say something like that. But I was just like, yeah, I'm not going to doubt you no more. Like, from this point forward, I'm giving thanks to you 24/7 or as much as I need to or can remember. And he woke up feeling like his old regular self, and that was everything. So from there, it just was a wrap. So now, like so since then, I started asking around the family members, trying to get names. I do have some names now, so I'll say thank you to them. But yeah, one way is, set up an altar and just go to it and give thanks to your ancestors, whether you know their names or not. I do know some people that they just put pictures of family members that they know have passed away. That's a real easy way to do it too. Like if you know any of your family members that passed away, just see if you can find a picture of them, put it up there. Even if you don't have a picture of them, get something that symbolizes their personality or things that you knew that they like. And um, yeah, you just gotta honor them and be respectful and give thanks. Um, And yeah, that's all I got about the ancestors. Somebody asked, do you do individual readings? Yes, I do. I focus on individual readings unless you ask for something different. Like if you want your friend to be around, I try not to do that so much because I don't want the energy to get confused. And plus, it can kind of be a little distraction. So I try to stay away from having friends or too many people around when I'm doing a reading for somebody. But I'm more than open to do readings for people. Like if you wait for the call to chill out. So I'm more than happy to do readings for like couples. I have done that before. And I don't like doing readings without everyone's consent. So like if you come to me wanting a reading on wanting to know what your boyfriend thinking, I'm gonna say I'm gonna need your boyfriend consent. I need you to tell him to respond to me or something to tell me I got his consent, because I don't want to be digging up in his spiritual business and telling you and he's not present. So in situations like that, I'll be like, oh, is he available to get in on this reading with you? At that point, that's more of what I would typically say is, can they come and do this reading? Can y'all do this reading together? However, that's very different than you asking me about. However, that's very different than you asking me about things that you need to work on to build your relationship. Because at that moment, we're just focusing on your energy. We're not talking about what he over there doing. We're talking about you. So I do individual readings, and that's all that I focus on, unless you request for it to be like for a couple or best friends or something like that. But I would have to have everybody's consent. Um, and I think oh wait. Oh, so natal charts and understanding placements. Now that is a big subject. I'm going to think of a way to. It's so much information in a natal chart. It is entirely so many things that you can talk about. So let's see. I would say, if anything, focus on the placements first, and that's pretty much what your sun sign is, what your moon sign is, your rising, Uranus, Pluto. Your placements are the different signs you have for each planet. Those are called the placements. And then once you get used to that, then you can start looking at the houses. The houses are, excuse me, the houses are different. Okay, I'm gonna slow it down. When you start looking into the houses, those are like external, or it deals with more external energy, like how you interact with the world and how the world interact with you, versus when you're looking at the placements, this is all about your personality and your divine being. So when you go into the houses, it tells you how like you will interact with family members, or what your role is when it comes to dealing with home matters and things like that. Career, like it's 12 houses, so it gets deep in that way. But then you even got aspects, and that tells you how each planet interact with each other. You got orbs. I haven't really went in that direction yet, but I'm still learning about it. I'm just stuck in the placements and the houses right now, and I'm starting to understand the different degrees, and that'll tell you like the different degrees will tell you how, kind of like, I don't know. I'm gonna just leave it alone. Like I said, I'm just starting to get into that, so I'm not going to say anything that I'm not too familiar about just yet. Um, so I think I answered everybody's question, and I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I love all these questions, but my favorite one was, which one is my favorite moon phase? I like that one. You had me thinking on that. Yeah. Oh, another question was vibes and body language. I don't know, man. You just gotta, the vibes, you feel it. I mean, you can tell it through people's body languages too. But I know for me, I just feel vibes. all the time. I feel it all the time because, like, I don't know. Me having my vision about Moon Goddess helped me to understand the things that I was feeling from people. I didn't really know how much of that empathic energy or quality I had until um, I started to connect with Moon Goddess and started to pay attention to my feelings and other people around me and things like that. But yeah, vibes don't lie. That's all I'll tell you. Vibes don't lie, and you can tell a lot about a person's behavior. You can tell a lot by what they're interested in. You can tell a lot about how their thought processes are, and all of that based on the things that they're interested in talk about for real, for real. So, um, yeah, I don't know. Just know that vibes don't lie, and that's all I got. Um, I don't know the next time I'm going to do a video, but I'm looking forward to it. I think next time it'll be more so talking about specific topics. But at any point, you know, of course, ask me questions. I might do like another part 2 of questions. But yeah, that's all I got for today. With that being said, first of all, happy new moon. Yes, today we are today is August 8th, 2021. We have a new moon on this beautiful Sunday. Make sure you out here manifesting. And like I've been promoting for the moon guide, so hope y'all get the moon guide. It's everything. I curated that moon guide from my heart and soul. I went through so many like cycles trying to get that thing right. So I definitely still using. I think I'm on cycle 13, if anything. Um, so what else I wanted to say? It was something about the moon. But yeah, happy manifesting. That's all I got. Y'all be peace and stay light.